I'm afraid I don't have a lot of confidence in OFCOM, but finally it seems to be doing something. It's taken quite a while. It's now investigating 4 further potential breaches of the impartiality rules, and looking at GBNews' use of Rees Mogg, a sitting MP, a former cabinet minister, as a presenter during a breaking news story. It's looking at the campaign by GBNews against contactless payments. It's looking at a breach of impartiality rules, probably, over allowing 2 Tory MPs, Esther McVey and her husband, Philip Davies. Is he her husband? I don't know. They seem very close anyway. To interview the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Jeremy Hunt. And that is something which I think was being called out in April. Jeremy Hunt sat down for an interview with the former cabinet minister, Esther McVey. Philip Davies is the MP for Shipley. This happened on the 11th of March, I think. OFCOM, I think even then was asked to investigate this, and it said that news and current affairs should be presented with due impartiality. So presumably 3 Conservative ministers chatting, or 2 Conservative former ministers and 1 current minister chatting about the budget probably doesn't indicate a lot of impartiality. And when the interview was over and had been aired, John Nicholson, that man who is really one of the best things in the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Select Committee, said that this was a love-in. And, well, he didn't say, I would say it was an orgy of self-indulgent. He said surely a flagrant breach of Ofcom rules. I would add an onanistic display, a decrepitude, an insult to broadcasting. And Nicholson claimed that McVey and Davies used their regular Saturday show on GBNews to interview the Tory Chancellor about how good the budget was. The interview was trailed by the Treasury on its own social media pages. So the whole thing, the idea of independence, has gone. And Ofcom's chief executive, Dame Melanie Dawes, she clearly takes the same view as Suella Braverman when it comes to a select committee. She just looks lost and starts fiddling with her paperwork, if I remember correctly. But Dawes said that politicians are allowed to present other kinds of shows, however, including current affairs. Sometimes those programs may be on channels that also broadcast news. What matters here is the format of the particular show. Ofcom's also complained Ofcom has also confirmed that it will not pursue 40 complaints about the impartiality shown by Nadine Dorris's interview with the Prime Minister. I have no idea why that's the case. But anyway, this Friday morning with Esther and Phil, which I think aired on the 12th of May, on my birthday. So that was all rather exciting. And there was Ofcom rules should ban politicians from appearing on news programmes. And the way they get round this is by saying this is an entertainment. Well, it probably is if you're looking at something by Lee Anderson or looking at something by Nadine Dorries. But I think Esther McVey knows what she's doing. And I think Rees Mogg knows what he's doing. Politicians as presenters. That's the rule. 13th of June, 12th of May and April. These things completely shocking. There was another programme, I think, on the 13th of May. It just goes on and on and on. There is so much. There's so much evidence that GB News is breaking the rules. And Dan Wootton, of course, about whom I hope to be speaking on Wednesday evening, is still presenting his programme on GBNews, despite having been suspended from his other job at Mail Online. He is the victim, of course, as he said, of dark forces trying to bring down the channel. And shocking. Anyway, let's see what happens. But I am delighted that there's a little bit more attention by Ofcom. But as I say, I'm not holding my breath. So far, Ofcom doesn't seem to show much desire to do anything of purpose. It seems to just shuffle its paper. And as I say, I think Ofcom and its boss seem to have taken their functioning activity from the example of Suella Braverman.